Okay, so in this video we're going to be continuing with your first stripe. On this section we're going to be going over your blocks, okay? So your very first block that you're going to be doing is called Gedan Jujiuke. So Gedan referring to where it's going, it's a lower level, and then Jujiuke can be X block, cross block, kind of along those lines, right? So we'll be in a front stance right now, okay? And then the right hand will be across the body, fingers up, left hand on the top at a vertical. So as you can see, we're right here. Turn to the side, Ryland. Good. So Ryland's right hand is across his body, fingers are up, left hand is chambered and pulled back. So this is just like a basic chamber position. That's really what it is. Okay, we'll go to the front. And our body is kind of in Hamni position, right? And then we're going to come across, and we're going to do this one hand at a time. Typically the block's done simultaneously. So the left hand's going to come down like a down block, making contact with the top of the forearm and then rotating out, right? And then the right hand's going to come across like a vertical punch, okay? So your hands actually 1, 2. This is the shape of my hands, right? So again, 1, 2, together. And the reason why I have this hand where the fingers are up, right? Come on this side, Ryland. If Ryland's going to be kicking me, right? So I'm actually making contact to the inside of his shin, right? If I were to not have my hand rotated, right, and it would just be like this where my fingers are against my body, I'm going to be hitting his leg with the side of my forearm. So in other words, I'm only using one of the bones in my forearm, which isn't very strong. And now I'm doing like bone to bone, which really, really hurts, okay? Now I have this rotated, so that way when I make contact with both parts of my forearm, both the radius and the ulna, and then I can rotate it out afterwards. So I'm more of a redirection rather than crashing bone to bone. Go back. And then the second thing is, as I'm coming across, I'm not just coming across with the blocking it out of the way, but with the other hand, I'm actually hitting onto the inside of the shin like a punch. So it's coming here together. So we rotate, kick, block. Rotate, kick, block. And trust me, they're going to feel that for sure, because this part of the shin, especially on the inside, is very, very delicate, and especially if you're not conditioning it, it really hurts a lot. So that's your first block. So again, the way that we'll do it is we're kind of pulled back in Hamni position, right hand on top of the left, and across. Again, across. Again, across. We're going to go ahead and face this direction. So we pull it back and shoot. 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 And go ahead and face the camera, Ryland, and go ahead and do your block. Now, what you don't want is you don't want this punching hand being too close to your other wrist, right? So in his right hand, it doesn't want to be way too high either, but it doesn't want to be too low as well, right? So I typically say about a palm's distance from the wrist. So right now my thumb is on his wrist. I have my palm on his hand, and that's where his punch begins, right? So that way he's not way too high, he's not way too low. He's just about right there, right? Maybe even 3 fingers would be a good distance as well. So that's your Gedan Jujiuke. Your next block is actually really, really simple. You have your Gedan Shutabarai. So really, it is a down block with a shuto, right? Pretty darn simple. So right here in our kamae, we're going to fold. And then instead of doing a normal down block here, we're just going to open up this hand and chop down. And that's found in your kata, heian yondan. Here, this motion, this is your Gedan Shutabarai, okay? Just a lower chop, okay, for a block. And then your last one, so that one's pretty simple. So your last one is your Gedan Kakiwaki-uke, and this can be kind of translated to, so I'm not Gedan, Chudan, I'm sorry. Chudan Kakiwaki-uke. So this is kind of translated to like a midsection wedge block, okay, or an outer wedge block. So we'll be in our front stance right now, okay? And I have my left hand on top of the right, which means my left hand is closer to you guys, to the camera. and we want our elbows in, so we're going to shoot our arms forward, like so. Kind of make our fists a little bit more vertical, almost creating like this little X. Right now my right hand is on top, my left hand's on the bottom. We're going to open out, create this little wedge. My fists aren't completely vertical, they're kind of at an angle. And then I'm going to pull down here. So come in, expand out, and pull. So we're going to go ahead and face this direction. Come in, expand out, pull. You can see that pull in here, and you should be using your back muscles for sure. So not so much of pulling with your biceps, but more sort of pulling, like pushing down with your traps and pulling with your lats and your lower back. Okay, so here, 1, 2. So this motion right here, this is what creates the wedge, right? So for example, if Rylan were to like choke me or something with 2 hands, just to kind of give you guys an image here. I create this wedge. Now I'm on the inside. Now I can kind of pull them in and do the things that I need to do. All right. If he were to try to like bear hug me in the front, again I create that wedge and then I strike inside. Or if he were to kind of hold onto my shirt, right? Again, if I just pull off to the side, go ahead and hold tight, Rylan. Hold nice and tight, right? If I were to just pull my hands out to the side, I'm going to have a really, really hard time. So I create a wedge. And by creating that wedge, that's kind of widened his grip a little bit more, right? Now I can regrip, and I could pull in a lot easier. Now I'm winning and he's losing, okay? So as you're doing this here in your kata, you're doing it from a back stance, this direction. Here. Okay? And those are your 3 blocks. Good job.